Greetings, I'm Zak, and today I'm here to talk about Doctor Who. Now, as you already know, I am a massive Doctor Who fan. Now, when it boils down to it, Doctor Who is not in a good state at the moment. However you look at it, everyone will jump on it, the BBC especially, will jump on it and say, like, completely denial about that it's perfectly fine, no worries at all whatsoever. Disney, oh yeah, it's quite good, but the truth and reality of the matter is Doctor Who, at the moment, is in quite a state. As of time of recording, we have Season 2, or Series 15, coming out on the 12th of April, which is obviously Ncuti Gatwa's second season, and I've seen the trailers for it and everything, and much like the first season, I seem utterly unimpressed by it, and that's not out of want of trying to be. I want to enjoy the series, but the writing, just the way the cast have been acting behind the scenes and things regarding it, it just seems like fundamentally a lot of people really don't care about the actual material that they're working with, which is utterly baffling to me. The writing, most of all, is utterly atrocious. I'm very much fond of how they used to do it in classic Doctor Who, where they would get individual writers to submit their proposals for stories and things, the best of which would be then chosen. However, now of course it is writers' rooms where there's lots of pooling of ideas based upon who you are, what you can contribute and things, not based upon actual, like, the depth of story or anything. Now obviously that is in contrast, because obviously classic Doctor Who was a lot more long-winded, and that is not everyone's cup of tea. It's certainly my cup of tea. However, the modern stuff seems to have lost the plot, is probably the best way of describing it personally, because it seems to be more about representation and gender other than having an actual core story. And I mean, to be fair, the character of the Doctor in recent years hasn't really done much. I mean, Season 1 of Ncuti Gatwa, I don't want to get political about this, but he was hardly in most of it, and yet he's the main figurehead. And already now, Season 2, he's talking about quitting because he doesn't want it to, like, smear his reputation. He wants to move off to LA to move on to bigger projects. Now, I mean, we're talking about Doctor Who here. Doctor Who, this should be the biggest setup in the world, and I feel it has been entirely underutilised in this particular retrospect. I mean, going back to what I was saying before, the fact that it's in a poor state, we've had so many different reports of, obviously, main actors basically wanting to leave the role, cast and crew leaving the project dead in the water. The big news that has just hit is the fact that it would seem that the Christmas special for this year has been cancelled. And that does not spell good, in direct contrast to what BBC, Disney have been saying about it. I mean, you look at the ratings, the reviews. Sure, there's people out there that seem to like it, but it doesn't seem to be made for Doctor Who fans anymore, and that really does seem to be the case, and I'm not entirely sure why. Surely this is a fundamental British institution that should basically persist for another 60 years, and yet the 60th anniversaries onwards have seemed to have proved like the least popular of the entire series, and we're talking post Jodie Whittaker here, which is utterly insane. I mean, Bad Wolf Studios, Russell T Davies, I feel as if, like, this was the moment to bring Doctor Who back, and it hasn't. It really hasn't in any means. It may be called Doctor Who, but is it Doctor Who? I wouldn't say so, because I'm a fan of what Doctor Who is. And what Doctor Who is isn't what we currently have as Doctor Who. You may plaster Doctor Who over it, but it isn't Doctor Who. It seems to be in favour of drama, all these things, as opposed to having a decent story, which is such a shame, such an honest shame when it comes to Doctor Who. Now, rumours are true that obviously that doesn't really spell well for a potential Season 3. Obviously, the specifics of Disney Plus deals and things are basically up in air at the moment. We know that I think it was like a initial contract for like 26 episodes, and considering the state of things now, Christmas special being cancelled for this year, that does not leave it in a good state. And it seems to have been continuously downhill since basically the 60th anniversary, and it's such an honest shame because I really do like Doctor Who. I think at the moment, when it comes to the land and universe of Doctor Who, or Whoniverse, as it now has been touted, what is really keeping it alive, especially for true fans of the show, is the fact that we have all these Blu-ray collector sets coming out, big physical media collectors, as you already know, and indeed the animations of like the missing stories and things. The new one that's coming out soon is going to be The Savages, which I know a lot of people have jumped on to the I don't like the animations front, but to be fair, to be perfectly honest, I would prefer to have something as opposed to nothing regarding these. So I think it's very unfair to say, oh, that shouldn't be made or anything. And indeed, the same can be said for New Doctor Who. I'm all for it to be made. Whether or not I'm going to enjoy it is another thing. I would love to enjoy it. I would love it to be a fully fleshed out story, great developed characters, but it just seems to be missing the mark on every level. Now, going back to the last Christmas special, I mean, to be fair, that was the last thing we saw, Joy to the World, and that jumped the shark big time. It was crap. Utterly crap, to be fair. It really was. Now, honestly, I can't say I'm surprised by the state of things when it comes to Doctor Who at the moment, because it just seems to be one deep dive to the next in Doctor Who, and that's showing the ratings, the reviews, all the controversy surrounding it. It's not a good look, and it is looking incredibly likely that we are going to have another hiatus on our hands when it comes to Doctor Who. I think it's been touted at being 5 to 10 year gap, and for the crew and cast to basically not hold their breath when it comes to expecting to be offered roles in the making of New Doctor Who, because they're not coming anytime soon. I honestly feel, and I feel stupid for saying this, but I feel as if it's going to be the best thing for Doctor Who is to have a hiatus, and even saying that just feels kind of wrong, but it honestly is going to be the best way forward for Doctor Who, even for its, or especially for its reputation to... It's going to be hard to bring it back, because they have done a right job on it in recent years. I don't want to say reboot. I really don't want to say reboot. Maybe developing it with spin-off series. I know that they've got a couple of different things lined up, like the War Between Land and Sea. I know that's on the cards at the moment, but Doctor Who as the main show, yeah. Unimpressed is what I'm going to leave this particular one on. All for obviously restorations of the missing episodes, Blu-ray collections, and especially the true Christmas special of last year was, of course, the War Games in colour. What an absolute treat that was just chucked on BBC Two at a weird time and nobody knew about it. I mean, that was the true Christmas special in my opinion regarding Doctor Who. Now, what I feel Doctor Who really needs is somebody that appreciates the history of the show, the stories that have been created thus far, and indeed somebody who actually cares about doing it, as opposed to like somebody using it as like a leapfrog. Not saying that Shooty Gat was doing that or anything. It shouldn't be that it's just the next thing on the ladder to getting better and stronger roles, because it seems to have had the reverse effect for Shooty Gatwa, and he seems to openly admit this. He doesn't want it to smear his reputation. And I mean, again, we're talking about Doctor Who, and that seems absolutely mad that you could possibly say that. And then you have all the cast members and things that, I mean, even Russell T Davies apparently said that when the person who was playing Joy in Joy to the World, are you familiar with Doctor Who? Or she said that she was unfamiliar with Doctor Who. Did she have to watch anything? And he said, no, don't worry about it. And it's like, that seems just wrong. Just wrong. Like, some basis of knowledge on Doctor Who front would surely help when it comes to acting in this particular world, because it is a long established franchise that not every franchise has such a history. So it's like completely seems a bit of a punch in the stomach when it comes to quotes and comments like that. I mean, there's worse out there, but geez, things like that really do put Doctor Who at the moment into perspective. And if you have your head screwed on, I think you can possibly realise that it is not in a good state. And all the news reports, interviews, quotes, everything that is coming out about Doctor Who at the moment is just bad. The people that are denying it are the people that are making it. And to be fair, what's left of that? I don't know. So I suppose it's an open-ended thing here regarding Series 3, and the likelihood is that it could be cancelled. I know that a regeneration scene, or 2 regenerations, have been filmed, depending on how they want to end it. They want to leave it open-ended or not. I don't know. That is obviously on the cards, because, I mean, even that they've got 2 regenerations, that says we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what the decisions are. We don't have a plan. And Doctor Who, if anything, should have a plan. Star Wars should have a plan. Marvel should have a plan. It's almost like all these different big franchises now have done so much that they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And they're kind of tripping over their own feet here when it comes to, like, the creation of new content. And that's sad. That is really sad. So I think the best thing is, as I've said, if Doctor Who did go on hiatus, that's probably the best thing for it. And I mean, we have at least 50 odd years worth of content to rewatch, and if you're a modern Doctor Who fan, I would highly suggest that you go and catch classic Doctor Who, because you are missing a treat if you haven't. First 26 seasons, basically, for the most part, gold. Even if there are wobbly sets, they have fantastic stories, they have fantastic actors, they have fantastic plots and things. You really are missing out if you're denying that to yourself. And I mean, to be fair, to be honest, all the way up to the end of Capaldi, for me, was good. It was good. I like Matt Smith. It did kind of dip on that Peter Capaldi side of it, but as soon as Jodie Whittaker kind of fell out of the TARDIS, it seemed to be downhill from there. And yeah, it's going to be a long time before it picks up again, if you count on me for that. So yeah, well, not being too negative, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any comments regarding what I've said in this video, it would be great. I'd love to start a conversation regarding Doctor Who. Do you like it? Do you think what I've said in this video has been completely and utterly wrong? Do you disagree with me? I would love to know in the comments. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen of the universe, or whatever, if you're watching this video, I will see you in the next one.